So if you can hear that, that is the wonderful sound of some bad bearings. This is a Gatesair ULXTE 40 transmitter, so basically two cabinets of this guy, 40 kilowatts. We got Gatesair up there, Maxeva, exciter control unit. You don't need to see my IPs or the other information up there, but anyway, as you can hear, one of these power supplies is made by GE has a really terrible fan in it. The easiest way to generally find one of these things is put your hand over the fan, and when you cover up the one, the sound will suddenly drop. See? That's our bad one. Doesn't change on any of the others. So this guy here, sorry, helps if I point the camera where I'm actually on, but this guy here, this is our bad one. So we're going to pop this guy out, and we're going to swap out the fans in this guy. And I'll throw the part numbers for the fans that this thing uses in there. If yours is under warranty, reach out to Gatesair. They'll send you the fans. If it's not, then if you got the part numbers, you can probably buy them online cheaper than you can get them from Gatesair. I want to pop these guys out. We got a little tool here in the front of the door. And this is so that you can easily remove these guys. Don't forget to put your little toothpick tool back after you're done. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt to get them out. All you're doing is, again. Alright, so this is the bad one. So what you do is take your little tool. As you held that guy allows you to grab the door, and then you can pull this guy out. And you can hear that sound is slowly spinning down. It takes a little while for those fans to actually come to a complete stop. Once they come to a complete stop, suddenly the sound stops. And it's much quieter in here. So let's go about getting some new fans in this cat. Alright, so this is the unit. This is a General Electric model CP3500A. I believe this is 1500 watts power supply for these guys. These are the Samneo fans to be replacing. So you've got screws on this outer case. Remove that, and you have screws that are here that are holding in the fans. We're going to remove all of those. Pretty straightforward on these guys. Don't lose any of your screws. We got 4 more screws on this side. All right. Now that can slide out of the way. It gets that out of there. These are your again, these are your fans over here. We got all our screws out. The lid, check. Yep, it's out of there. We'll pull these screws from the fan pieces. These are what hold the fans in. Ooh. Sometimes you got hidden screws under there, and this feels like there's a hidden screw right about there that I probably have to remove as well. Yep. Somebody's hiding under a sticker. Yep, there it is. So, don't forget the hidden screw. The rest of these. First one of these I've done, so we'll see if there's a better way when we're all said and done. All right. Oh, there we go. So that lifts up like that. So it looks like you can pull out the fans. And actually get it from the bottom, and everything else stays in there. So there's those. Drop those down. Let's see, are we stuck on something back here? Looks like it just kind of clips in. One more screw. All right, helps if you get all the screws out. All right, so there's that. There's a power supply. We're now open. So here is the existing fans, and they've got a little bit of this glue to hold them on. Just kind of peel that stuff back a little bit, and get that out of the way. Should be able to get this guy to come out of the socket. Now you want to get the wires to come free. You don't want to pull the socket off the board. So there's fan number one. So I'm pulling on this. I'm using my thumbnail to hold the socket on the board so that I don't end up damaging the socket. I don't care if I damage the wires on these fans because these fans are dead and not reusing them anyway. So I don't really care how hard I pull on those, but I just want to make sure I don't pull too hard on the socket itself. So keep your thumb on the edge of that socket so that you're holding it in place. So yeah. So these are our two old ones, exact same fans. These are our new ones. So we'll pop these guys in. Looks like they go in like in this thing. Well, it looks like this way. These are keyed. They will only go into sockets one way. So it's not going in your socket correctly. Check and make sure that you've actually got it in the right direction. And while you're putting it in there, make sure you're not forcing any of this goo that the old one was glued into the socket, because that will definitely cause some problems. I'm just kind of breaking all that stuff out of the way. Get it out. They're really fun to get in there, let me tell you. All right, there's number one. Number two, so in the case of these, your wires are going up here towards this front edge. The empty spot is going towards the back edge. And we're in. Good to go. All right. So they're basically actually kind of going like that inside of there. So now we need to attach them back to the little frame. Line them up into there. Take your coarse thread screws, put those back in. You have 3 screws per fan. Helps if you hold it from the back so that it doesn't push in as you're trying to screw in the screws. These are threading directly into the plastics of that thing, so they're kind of cutting their little bit of threading as they go into it. There's the first one. And we'll get the second one. There was a recall on these power supplies initially when these transmitters first went out due to the original power supply not checking in with the transmitter correctly. If you had a recall one, you've probably long since done it. In the case of these power supplies for me, they've got a little over 2.5 years, I guess, of runtime on them. Maybe a little bit longer than that. I guess this process started, kind of surprising, started back in 2019. So yeah, all right, so there we go. Now we got to get our little back lined up back here. Make sure we're not disconnecting any of our fans as we put this guy back into place. Oh, I see what's going on. There is a little insulator sheet that runs down this side, and so you just got to make sure you're getting it tucked up underneath there. So once you got that in place, then we can start throwing some of these screws back in here. And we'll start holding it back together. Got our little hidden screw underneath, back in. Let's see, there we go. Back over that. Make sure they're all the way down, nice and flush. Don't over tighten them because you end up stripping them out. Our other one back here. Alright, those. So now we got our ones for this door. So we'll go ahead and put our door back on. So, slides in like so. One screw for the door right here. One screw for the chassis right here. And the other screw for the door right here. And there we go. Well, let's go pop this thing back in the system, and hopefully it should sound a little bit better. All right. We're back over here. I'm going to throw this guy in. Slides right in like that. Door closes and she latches. Now you'll see as it's in, you've only got one of the two lights. That's because this PA is still off from having pulled the power supply. So for that, you got to come up here and hit the on. And this will basically turn this guy back on. Hit that. And now you can see that one's back lit up again. And so far, no racket. Don't forget to put your little door hook back on. You'll need that little toothpick the next time you have to pull one of these guys out. That's it. That's a rebuild of a 1500 watt power supply for Gatesair ULXTE 40 replacing the fans.